Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Freedom March on 103.5 The Beat. I'm Levan Miller. Yes, there's no need to adjust your television set. I'm not Rodney Munker. And yes, I'm black. So happy Monday to all of those of you that are tuning in this afternoon. We've got a whole lot to talk about. I tell you, I can't even fall asleep anymore these days, and that is how I know the political season is upon us. And so I'm here sitting in for Rodney Munker, and I am in studio with the spiritual advisor who is doing his very best to keep me safe throughout this period as I sit in here for Rodney. So spiritual advisor, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to be here, and good afternoon being in public.
How has the weekend been?
Weekend was pretty good.
Whole lot of news where you were?
A lot of things going on here. A lot of things swirling around.
Yeah. This is like Night of the Long Knives. You know, I don't know. I'm not a poet, right? I'm not a poet, but this gives me some.
This is interesting.
Some Shakespearean kind of vibe. Maybe that's the Michael Pintard effect. I don't know.
We'll see. It's interesting to say the least.
Michael Pintard is the best in the world, I'd say, the spiritual advisor. I like the way he just break up. Michael Pintard just break up like a poet. Michael Pintard say, Dr. Minnis, we have no space here for you.
You're not man.
However, help our party win.
Please.
And the part I like the most is when he say, and then recommend us who you think will be the best person to run in Kalani. Well, by Kringle. Boy, you know who I think is the best person to run in Kalani? Me, dumb boy. What you you just can't make these things up, right? Dr. Minnis, you don't run. But tell us who you think
it'll be best.
is the best person to run.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I remember when I was a little boy, there was a poem that someone had done in a classroom setting that I can't even remember all the words to, but I do remember these last set of words, spiritual advisor. So take care of my heart, or take care of this heart like you have done, because now you have two and I have none. It was a poem about breaking up, right? And that's how, just as I listened to Michael Pintard yesterday, I said, only a poet could have done this as masterfully as this, could have told Dr. Minnis that he ought to go thither, right? And still somehow solicit the support, solicit the influence, solicit possibly the money of Dr. Minnis and his financiers. It must be new politics.
It's interesting.
Has to be new politics. But then that opens up a lot of boxes. We're going to talk about that on the next side of the break. Don't move. We'll be back. Levan Miller here on Freedom March with the Spiritual Advisor on 103.5 The Beat. We'll be back. Hello and welcome back. Thank you for staying with us through the break. Leaving Miller, 103.5 The Beat FM. ILTV Studios on Facebook, 224 on cable and 1121 on Flow TV. The Spiritual Advisors here with me in studio. And as always, we are going to open up with Holy Scripture. But Spiritual Advisor, I do want to say a special shout out to my friends at Island Connect on Bernard Road who keep me together. But I also want to say a special shout out to Bradley and Whitney. The fella say, I name after the Spiritual Advisor. You everywhere I go, you're a hit. He said, make sure when you see the Spiritual Advisor, you tell the Spiritual Advisor I said hello. Bradley and Whitney, I was at Place X yesterday having a little for the stomach's sake. Isn't that what Paul said that we should do?
Yep, drink a little wine. His charge to Timothy was, listen, don't drink the water. The water apparently was getting Timothy sick. So he said, listen, drink no longer water, but take a little wine for the stomach's sake. And that often infirmities. Wine is a healer, especially red wine.
Hallelujah.
It's good for the heart.
So, but I thought they said wine is a mocker.
Yeah, and strong drink is raging. Whoever is deceived thereby is not wise. Don't allow it to deceive you. See, a lot of people don't read and try to comprehend. We're gonna be dealing with comprehension in a minute, because there is a particular.
You know, I like Paul.
We all should love Paul.
I love Paul. Paul is the founder of the church. What do you mean?
No, Jesus is the founder of the church. Peter opened the doors on the day of Pentecost.
And Paul built the walls.
Paul was one of the most prolific writers of the New Testament. And of course, his credentials are there. He stands firm and sure, and he was authorized by Jesus. Yeah. But we'll get into that.
So I know you're going to get to the scripture. You know my favorite thing about Paul? I always like the way Paul started his letters to Timothy. How he always spoke to Timothy in such a, what do you call it? Terms of endearment. Timothy, my beloved.
Yeah.
My dear Timothy.
My dear brother.
Yeah, and I said, you know something? Paul just always wanted Timothy to know that, boy, I don't care if you grow big as a camalami tree. Only one of us is an apostle, and it ain't you.
Right, because Timothy was an evangelist. Timothy wasn't an apostle. Paul was the apostle.
So what does the Holy Scripture say to us?
But let me do my shout out as well. I want to shout out my girls at the paint shop, my friends there at the paint shop. We got Monique Paul, we got Kelly Moxie, we got Kiki, then some of the guys, we got Kevin, C. Darlin, we got Miss Johnson, who is the manager. So listen, a special shout out to my good friends down there at the paint place, Monique Paul, C. Darling, Kiki, Kevin, Miss Johnson, of course, Kelly Moxie, who was the assistant manager. Special shout out to you guys.
All right.
But anyhow, what is interesting, there's a very, very peculiar video circulating on social media. And in this video, there's a young man who is making some very, very irresponsible comments concerning Christianity, concerning Christ, and of course concerning the Apostle Paul.
Wow.
And I can tell you, if you don't have a red Bible, because he doesn't have one, I prove from his video, from this Egyptian Coptic church, that he doesn't have a red Bible. Wow. And that has led him into mass confusion.
Wow.
All right? So, yes, he's now accusing pastors of leaning too much on Paul.
Wow.
And they're not leaning on Jesus. I find that statement to be very, very irresponsible. It's uncanon. It's contrary to scriptures. Because what I'm going to do, because he says that Jesus Christ didn't come for all. Jesus only came to the lost sheep of Israel.
Yeah, for the Jews.
Yeah. So let's see what the angels told the shepherds when Jesus was being announced and coming to the world. Here's what the angels told the shepherds on the announcement of Jesus Christ. Let's go to Luke chapter 2, verse 10, 11. Now, let's forget that they're leaning on Paul. Can we lean on an angel who's a messenger from heaven? What did the angel say to the shepherds?
Tell us.
And the angel said unto them, that's the shepherd. If you read verse 9, you'll see it was the shepherds. He says, fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. Now you see what has happened when you don't have a red Bible? And the angel said unto them, which is shepherds, fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people, black people, white people, red people, brown people, Jews, Gentiles, Greeks, all people. And what's this message? For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior,
Wow.
which is Christ the Lord. And this is great tidings and great joy to who? He says to all people.
Wow.
So, young man, I always wanted to have a public debate with you, but I think you have to get a red Bible because I don't want to embarrass you. All right? So you got to go back to the book of Luke and
Right.
you see where the angels now. Let's forget me laying on the Apostle Paul too much, all right?
Wow.
Could be laying on the angels that were sent direct from heaven through God. The messengers of God, can we lean on them? Anyhow, let's go to this other passage. And then he accuses. He accuses the pastors of accepting Paul, who he claimed is not authorized to either write or that he was not inspired. He accuses the Apostle Paul of not being inspired by the Holy Spirit. Let's see if Paul has any credentials. Let's look at a third party. Let's look at an independent witness as relates to the Apostle Paul and his authority and credentials. But producer, which passage are we going to now? Acts. We're going to the book of Acts chapter 9, 10 through 18. He denies this story about Paul on his way to Damascus and the vision and how Paul was struck down and seen and actually spoken to by Jesus Christ. He denies all this. All right, so he treats the Bible like the Burger King slogan, have it your way. But listen, my friend, you will not have it your way, because here's what the Bible says. In Acts chapter 9, verse 10 through 18, the Bible says, in Damascus, there was a disciple named Ananias. The Lord called to him in a vision, Ananias. Yes, Lord, he answered. The Lord told him, go to the house of Judas on the straight street and ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul, for he is praying. In a vision, he is seeing a man named Ananias come and place his hands on him to restore his sight. That's the first thing. Go ahead, producer. Lord, Ananias answered, I have heard many reports about this man and all the harm he has done to your holy people in Jerusalem. And he has come here with authority from the chief priest to arrest all who call on your name. That's Christians. But the Lord said to Ananias, watch it now. Go. This man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings and to the people of Israel. I will show him how much he must suffer for my name. Hear me, producer. Is that it? Okay, that's it. So watch this now. Ananias went to the house and entered it. Placing his hands on Saul, he says, listen, brother Saul, the Lord Jesus has appeared to you on the road as you were coming here. He sent me to you, that you may again be filled with the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
Immediately, something like scales fell from Paul's eyes, and he could see again. He got up and was baptized. That is an independent witness who Jesus spoke to, as well as the Apostle Paul, authorizing the Apostle Paul to be the messenger of God. Then Ananias went to the house and entered it, placing his hands on Saul. He says, brother Saul, the Lord Jesus, who appeared to you on the road as you were coming here, he sent me, that you may see again and be filled with the Holy Spirit. Now, you see what happens when you don't have a red Bible? You are led into mass confusion and you just spew a bunch of garbage out in the public space. Whoever that speaker is from the Egyptian Coptic Church, I challenge you to call me, 814-6096. Are we leaning on Paul without authorization?
Wow.
Anyhow, the word of God is forever and ever blessed. Thank you, producer.
Oh, thanks.
And back to you, my brother.
Spiritual advisor, well, I have to tell you I'm a Paul man. So if you say Paul is a saved man, I believe you, because I believe Paul is a saved man.
Jesus gave him the message.
Indeed. So outside of that, there's been a whole lot of things happening just yesterday. Before we get into Dr. Minnis and what's been going on over there, my friends were marching through the street yesterday, right? So much has changed in the 20 years that I was there. Look at them, they look so smart as they marched along the Prince Charles Highway. Can you hear the band?
Is that the Defense Force?
Yeah, that is the defense. That is the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, with its band at the front of the parade, with its parade marshals, the 4 chief petty officers that walk alongside the parade, who are literally there just to say left, 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 right, left. That's their job. Yeah, it's true. And then, of course, you see the commander of the Defense Force, fully regaled. I know what a decorated commander he is, followed by his aide, Force Chief Petty Officer Ramon Storr, and then his deputy, Captain Sean Del Pinder, and then his captain of Coral Harbor, one Glenn McPhee. But what stood out to me, could you go back a little bit, Mr. Producer, was that the chaplain of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force was on the march. There you can see him in his chaplain's robe. I mean, and he is marching and he looks so smart. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I said, well, what a time to be alive in God, holy Jerusalem city. There you see Apostle Raymond Wells amidst the crowd marching with the men of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
Where is he? In the black?
In the black robe, in his black clergy attire. And he makes his way up the parade route, up to Prince Charles. And I hear the Padre was with them the whole route. That is actually something that I think is quite interesting. We got to tighten these reservists up, though, because they had one reservist on that parade. I don't know. He looked like Chill Bill from over the hill. And that is not the standard. So if you're going to wear a uniform, you already got this big red standout color going on. I don't know why they picked red. But whatever. It's red. Tighten them up a little bit. But they looked so smart yesterday. They looked polished. Everybody looked smart. Everybody looked the standard. Their chests were high. Their shoulders squared. Their knuckles tucked away. And it was wonderful to see them. It was also wonderful to see that the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security attended. Which is interesting. This is probably the most I can recall a Prime Minister attending these church services. I don't think the Prime Minister has missed one. I think he's been to every one since he's been Prime Minister. And his Minister of National Security was there. But what was also very interesting to me, spiritual advisor, and this is the point at the point I want to pivot, also noticed in the crowd was Senator Darren Enfield.
Okay. This was a church service for the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
It was.
Where was it held?
At the William Thompson Auditorium.
Is that
Jane Street.
Okay.
At the Bahamas Baptist University College compound, yes.
Yeah. Prince Charles.
Yeah, and also noticeably in attendance was the chaplain of the Free National Movement, eh?
Okay, and that would be Kirk Minnis.
The Reverend Greg Minnis.
Greg Minnis, okay.
Yeah. And I just find it curious that on the day your cousin getting fire, you all did the
well, he wanted to fire his cousin as well.
Did you think the Spirit of the Lord revealed that to him? You think the Spirit of the Lord tell him, say, Craig, this me, the Spirit of the Lord. Don't go by the F&M headquarters. As a matter of fact, dress up like a preacher today and go down by the Defense Force Church service. It was quite interesting to see him there because what I thought to myself was, well, I wonder who opened in prayer before Michael Pintard fired Dr. Minnis.
Yes, because after all, he is the chaplain.
He's the chaplain.
Yeah, he is the chaplain.
So the chaplain was in there. Maybe they wasn't operating under the Spirit of the Lord.
I'm thinking the chaplain would always be to major events being held by the Free National Movement.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, that one was a major one.
I can't understand how the chaplain missed this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, because let me tell you what they'll say. They'll say, oh, well, the leader of the party had a very pressing matter to deal with at the headquarters, and so he sent a representative to represent the opposition at the church service, right? And, well, Minister Darren Enfield, in his former life, was Lieutenant Commander Darren Enfield, and so who better to send, right? But wasn't that a wonderful get-out-of-jail-free card?
For Darren Enfield?
Of course. Remember now, him and Minnis, they two bosom buddies.
But are they going to target him, though?
You never know.
Listen.
He might be next.
No, but listen, I've gotten some very, very good intelligence that Darren Enfield is going to get a free pass.
Well, what I know is Minnis has a birthday twin.
He's going to be all right.
There's a birthday twin in the Free National Movement that shares a birthday with Minnis that they love. They love it. They love to travel together for their birthday, cut cake together, all kinds of things, right? And I just want to say that yesterday, thank God that has luck would have it, and if you got luck that good, you should play the 5-ball, right? You really shouldn't waste that kind of good luck. That they happened to have a service that you was the best man to attend. And so you was in there when they stabbed Dr. Minnis in the neck yesterday. When they jick him in the jugular yesterday.
But we saw that coming, though. That should be no surprise for me and you, because we discussed who we thought would probably be axed.
But the question I have for you, spiritual advisors, has Michael Pintard proven that he is a winner? Remember now, Michael Pintard has a legacy.
He won twice.
And how much times he lose?
Well, that doesn't matter right now. He's won the leadership twice. And
I ain't talking about the leadership.
What you talking about?
Michael Pinto had been in politics since what, 92?
It's been a while he's been
Okay.
there. Yeah.
And from then till now, he win, what it was, 2017, and then 2021. He ain't win none of the set before that. Brave almost killed him up in Get Island, right?
Okay, so, I mean, what's that mean?
All I'm saying is, he lose in West End. My question
We
is,
could be running on all we could about what I could have
how are you sharing sure seats?
He is still the leader of the national movement.
He just losing West End. How are you sharing sure seats when you ain't proved to us you could win yet?
Well, I don't know.
And here's a better question.
Some say it may be a mistake, but anyhow.
Here's a better question. Minnis can't be worse than Adrian Gibson. Can't, from a helicopter.
Well, that's
From a helicopter, he can't be worse. Minnis ain't in no court case.
how so, but you gotta be careful.
Minnis ain't in no court case.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful of that though.
Spiritual advisor.
There's no guilty verdict that's been handed down.
I don't disagree with you. Remember, it was me that says
Still
that the
innocent.
presumption of innocence is something that a man never has to defend.
Yeah.
And that until you catch the man,
Yeah.
right? Don't tell me you catch a man in an affair unless you meet him with the underneath on top of him. Other than that, you won't catch him. What I'm saying to you, spiritual advisor, is there are implications associated with being brought before the face of
Yeah,
a court.
we understand that. Yeah.
And I'm saying to you that those implications couldn't be any better than whatever it is you all are accusing Dr. Minnis of.
Well, listen.
So if you was that anxious to get rid of somebody's spiritual advisor,
You can't get-
Long Island would have been the best place to start.
you can't do it. Don't forget now. We've learned in the past. There were certain MPs that were brought before the
boy.
courts, and the court set them free.
Yeah, but that was because in those instances, the judges of those courts, the magistrates of those courts, said things like there was not a scintilla of evidence to prove. In those instances, when it was before the face of Supreme Courts, right, the court realized that the chief witness was a pathological liar, was somebody who, under oath, admitted to lying.
Notwithstanding that, the person was still before the court.
And the point I'm making is
did a
up
little
to
bit-
this point, Mr. Gibson has not had such good fortune. Up to this point, while he is draped in his innocence, while the presumption of innocence isn't something he has to defend, up to this point, you cannot convince me that he offers more collateral to the Free National Movement than a former sitting prime minister. But I'll tell you this, that's why prime ministers should resign when they lose, to save themselves these kinds
And that's
of
what Ingram did. It's
Anyway,
amazing.
do what you all want. We going to the break. We'll be back. Spiritual advisor, leaving Miller on 103.5 The Beat.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
You don't have to read it. Anyhow, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us through the break. Freedom March here on 103.5 The Beat. The spiritual advisor keeps trying to keep me safe on the break, right? Spiritual advisor, you tell them I ain't listening to them. Okay?
They say you ain't know
Don't call me to tell me nothing silly about the acting or the senior deputy or the this one and the I said.
The chaplain.
The chaplain was noticeably absent from the day his cousin get fired. And all I saying is, I know why Jesus didn't tell him that, boy, today ain't a day you should miss, because they going to fire your cousin. You really should go down there and go pray about that. So don't tell me nothing about who was there, the senior deputy, vice. I don't care. What I said was that the chaplain was interestingly missing from what I feel was a super duper big day in the Free National Movement. You firing the former prime minister, the most recent former prime minister the party's ever had. Right? You don't feel like we need to invoke the Spirit of God while we doing this? And you feel like today is the day we need the fella who is the deputy invoker of the Spirit of God? No, we need the chief. We need the head spirit invoking guy. What you talking about? All right? And Michael Pintard has not proven to us that he can win. He didn't win in Centerville. He didn't win in Kid Island. When he scraped that one in Marco City, we gave him that because Greg Moore said get him. He pulled off this last one because he was a man of contrition. And remember, he was the only one on the rally stage not justifying the positions taken by you, but Minnis, when everybody else was. You could go back to the rally tape and listen. Michael Pintard was a man of contrition. I'm so sorry. Maybe we got some things wrong. Give us a chance. We'll do it again right the next time. And please don't fire us. That was Mike. And the people say, Lord. Let's give Michael a chance. Then he come back. Poor Obi dead. After Obi dead, we go on to the by-election. Guess what? Michael still couldn't win. As a matter of fact, Lincoln Bean going on there and pick up almost 400 votes. And the COI has no presence in Freeport. And pick up 400 votes in a place like West End and Bimini. In a constituency where you need a plane to visit the whole constituency. And you're trying to tell me something about Michael Pintard and could win? You can't share winning seats until you prove you could win. That seems like politics 101, spiritual advisor.
Boy.
All right? But I do want to say, though, that there seems to be something with Dr. Minnis. Every 4 years, he has a spell of bad luck. I think it's the cake, Mr. Producer. That's what I believe. I believe ever since the day he cut that cake. See him now, leader of the opposition at the time, the 44th anniversary of the Bahamas. Dr. Minnis led them to convince him to cut the cake. Mr. Christie wasn't nowhere around. Minnis cut the cake. And ever since Minnis cut the cake, every 4 years, somehow, he has to fight for his political life. And I say, I know you still got a piece of this cake frozen somewhere in one fridge. Take it back to Minnis and let him cut it again so he can put whatever it is that come out of the cake back in the cake. I don't, ever since this happened, his life has just never been the same. Yeah?
Anyhow, let's do this ad quickly.
All right, let's go to that.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best in Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, Nook, Show. All of those prices in town. So if you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality. Your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry. Offer won't last. Thank you, producer.
Thank you very much, producer. Yeah, so spiritual advisor, it has to be the cake.
Well, listen, here's what I'm understanding, and I don't know what's the spin-off with all this? But here's what I'm understanding. The primary reason why Dr. Minnis was not nominated to run again in Kalani is not because he's not a good member of parliament. It has nothing to do with that. His sword that cut off his legs was that he is not a team player as relates to helping or supporting the leadership of the Free National.
But Iram said he was a team player, y'all cut his leg off. Which sword they use for that?
And so Dr. Minnis apparently has been showing a lot of disrespect for the leader. He doesn't think Michael Pintard should be the leader. He wants to be the leader again. Michael Pintard has won the leadership race twice, proving to Dr. Minnis that the party doesn't want you to lead the party, but he still wants to forge ahead. As a result of that, they had to cut him off.
So what do you think are the next 3 big moves that Minnis has? Because Minnis has 3 big moves. Minnis has 3 big moves that Wednesday he could pull. Wednesday he could pull one of his 3 big triggers and change the landscape of politics in the Bahamas.
Now, he could cross the floor.
He could join the PLP.
Yeah.
Fred Mitchell ain't gonna let that happen.
Okay.
See, joining the PLP, you're talking about a former prime minister, yes? Think about this. Barkers Roll ain't getting the cabinet yet. I don't know why. The fella's 6'6". You can't be 6'6" and a parliamentary secretary. Leonardo Lightbourne ain't make it to the cabinet yet, and he's 6'6". You can't be 6'6" and be a parliamentary secretary. Parliamentary secretary and 6'6" just sound wrong in the same sentence. So you have young, bright, aspiring, elected officials who have not yet tasted executive power. You agree? Good. Keep going with me. Brave Davis has a bloated cabinet. The cabinet is about 28 members. 5 unperforming, but 28 in total, right? So, where would you put Minnis? Because the only job you would be able to give him as a former prime minister is Minister of Foreign Affairs. And Fred ain't gonna let that happen.
What about Minister of Health? No. Yeah, I think that
the only job he could have is Minister of Foreign Affairs because that would keep him away from Brave. And Fred ain't gonna let that happen.
Okay, so he'll not cross the floor.
So he's not gonna join the PLP.
Let's look at another option.
So his next option is to sit in there as an independent, right? But there's really no collateral there. He'll be an independent candidate. He'll be like a clangling cymbal. Plus, all of his efforts will only go to benefit the Free National Movement, who, according to you, he doesn't support the leadership of. That makes no sense. Here are his 2 big power plays. He either A, joins the COI, convince Lincoln to give him the party, change the name of the party to the FNA, tell Iram come join him, then tell Adrian, you see, when I was leader, I could have taken your nomination before the last election. I still let you run. You owe me. Come. Long Island now becomes COI, right?
What about Crazy Thompson?
He called Crazy nephew and say, nephew. He could call Crazy like how my aunties called me and say, nah, nephew, I calling. And boom, he gotta listen. When your auntie and your uncle call, you have to listen. He go to join the uncle. Guess where that now leaves Michael Pintard?
So then Minnis could form the opposition.
Minnis will become the leader of the opposition.
Would he do this though?
You wanna know big play number 3? Big play number 3 is why Lincoln them popular and on every TV and on every radio all over the country. Every time I click my radio on, all I can hear is Lincoln Bain. And since the prophet that say, God tell her Lincoln Bain is Joshua, right?
The prophet, or she calls herself a prophet?
I told you the spiritual advisor. I'm not saying one bad word about that woman. That woman prophesied that Hubert Minnis was going to be prime minister, and that was so. I remember I getting a big cuss out on Facebook with her. The woman said the Lord tell her Hubert Minnis was going to be prime minister,
she luck out,
and it
man.
came to pass.
She luck out on that one.
What I will tell you is, I don't know why God didn't tell her that he was going to be demonstrably horrible, egregiously
Well, let's tell you something.
Right?
So now she's saying God tell her Lincoln Bain is the man.
Lincoln Bain is the way, the truth, and the light. So here's the big power play. The big power play as Minnis is to say, you know something? I've heard the voices of the leadership of the Free National Movement. I understand where they are, and I do not agree with them. And I understand that I want this seat as an FNM, and I understand that they consider this an FNM seat. But what I know is the facts, and that for 20 years, me and these people have bonded, and I've visited their doorsteps, and I've sat with their children, and I've visited their schools, and I've eaten the porridge out of their pot.
He's a good MP.
And so, Madam Speaker, I not only tender my resignation as a member of the Free National Movement, Madam Speaker, today, I tender my resignation as the member of parliament for Kalani.
And force a by-election?
Now Pintard got to prove he could win. He can't get away. What he can do? Don't contest the seat?
You'll have to prove he can
Then
win.
you call Brave and you say, now Brave, this me. This Hubert. What to do? Don't run nobody against me. I want to prove something to this boy. And then it could be you and Pintard in a two-way race. And here's what? Who Pintard can run against you? Komalafi? Can't do it because she busy in Carmichael Road. That means Pintard got to go look for a candidate. We know he don't have no candidate because he just tell us Sunday he need Minnis to recommend a candidate.
So he'll lose.
He'll get the daylight speed on him. So while the COI has this momentum, right? And I say so for those that you can't see me on radio, with air quotations, you absorb the 300 or 400 that the COI picked up last election in Kalani, right? Along with whatever else they will garner from this new tranche of people that think the COI is a magnificent thing. And then you put the one fella that has won it for 20 years here with Minnis. That seems like a winning combination. And when you win, you say to the Free National Movement, now the COI is an elected party in the parliament. We ain't doing the crossing the floor thing. We have legitimized our stands in the parliament, and I invite the rest of you over there. See this boy here? Adrian, you know he ain't got nothing for you to do. Come this way, son. And Kwesi, you's my sister's son. You can't tell me no. You come as well. Or my brother's son, one of the two. And he could come. And guess what? Minnis could be the leader of the opposition, and Michael Pintard could be there with his tail tucked between his legs because he has no answer for that.
You're putting things in the Minnis' head.
I telling you what the power plays are, spiritual advisor. Here's the thing. What does he have to lose from this point?
Nothing, actually.
This is my exact point. And I will say this. He's in a far better position than Desmond Bannister. He's in a far better position than Renwood Wells. And as a matter of fact, I would like to recommend to Desmond and Renwood, stop hanging out with Minnis. Because y'all don't have none of the things he got. Y'all don't have the power. Y'all don't have the influence.
Nor the money.
Y'all don't have the liaison. You're with Minnis to Desmond and Renwood. It's like my friend Richie and Marcus. I don't drink liquor with them. You know why? Because they just do it a little differently because they got more money than me. They got more influence than me. And so whenever I see them, I just wait till they're heading back to the airport and we stop on our way to take them to the airport to sit down and have breakfast with them. Because where they live and how they live, I just see it at that level. You follow me? And so, you're listening to Minnis fighting Pintard. That ain't the benefit you all do. Minnis better win something, other than that, you all have nothing to do. Right? I checked from the last set of declarations in the last election. Minnis declared what, $12 million? Y'all ain't got no $12 million. Stop listening to him.
Yeah, so Minnis could form his own body if he wants.
Minnis could form his own anything.
Yeah.
But I tell these two other fellas, don't listen to Minnis. And what y'all can do is tell Pintard, now Pintard, we can't support you publicly because you know we support Minnis. But we can go on the ground, we can canvass. If you win, you can make us the ambassador to somewhere, so at least people ain't got to see us. Because it would be better for the Free National Movement to win and they become ambassador or chairman or than for the Free National Movement to become a third party. Because if it is about power and insurance, that's typically what it comes down to in public life here in the Bahamas, right? Power and medical insurance. You will have neither of those things in opposition. You will certainly not have any of them as a third party. And this is why I said last week, Spiritual Advisor, you will remember, that we should have a politically exposed poison tax. Everyone that still has public interest and public ambition, particularly for an elected office, should pay an annual tax of $600 or $1,200. That way you all can stop hiding your land. Everyone who want to be elected, bring you $1,200 annually. And we split it into like the social service budget or something.
So what does this do? Sorry, mate, pardon my English, for the Free National Movement right now?
What does what do?
With this accent.
Nothing. Okay.
Does it help them? Does it do damage?
The Free National Movement has how many seats now? 7?
Could they still win the election?
I didn't tell you Michael Pintard hasn't proven that he could win anything yet.
That doesn't mean he won't win.
Okay. Maybe, right?
That doesn't mean that.
But let's check this out. Pintard has 7 seats now, yes?
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't. He has 6, because remember, Iram gone.
So it's 5 now.
So no, he has 6. Keep count. He had 7.
Mm-hmm.
Iram gone. He got 6.
Mm-hmm. What about Dr. Minnis?
If Minnis go, he got 5.
Okay.
Right? All you need is 2 more to go. If Kwesi go and Adrian go,
then that's it.
guess who got the opposition?
Man, that's a lot.
And you can't tell me the opposition can't be 4 people, because Brave didn't prove that you could have 4 people in the opposition, correct? You remember Brave, Dennis Anna Martin, I, Chester Cooper, and who else was there? Was it Picewell? And Picewell Forbes.
Yeah.
They could have come to Parliament in a Suzuki Swift.
Andres, yeah.
Yeah. So you could have a 4-man opposition that is now riding the momentum of the COI, and you hear Brandon McCartney on the news say he ain't know why they get rid of Minnis, so he could pick a brand. That'll be a natural appointment to the Senate. This is the LBT 2.0. Natural appointment to the Senate of Brandon McCartney, right? Who else will they pick up? Natural appointment to the Senate of Lincoln Bain. Lincoln will be leader of opposition business in the Senate. Brown will be Brown.
Boy, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Ah, boy. But that is the power
This
play.
is wishful thinking.
There's nothing wishful about this. This is the Westminster. And the only thing that is wishful is that prime ministers that lose somehow assume that they could stay in active public life and that people will not be threatened by their mere presence. And as long as you have people in leadership that haven't proven that they have the wherewithal, they will continue to panic like Pintard. And the panicking will lead to things like shedding winning seats while you've not proven that you could win. They just beat this boy in West End. You know that, right?
It's beyond that.
So
he had to do it. He had to do what he had to do.
He run in West End.
But let me ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
The leader of the Free National Movement decided that he's not going to nominate the former prime minister.
Right.
You think he did that alone, or he had support?
You know what I really think?
Do you think he had support?
I think Dr. Sands tell him to do that.
Oh, come on.
You ask me what I think.
Okay. All right.
I think, okay, one person declared that the Ingram era was over after the by-election of Abaco. You remember that? Mm-hmm. One person declared that the Minnis era was over after the 2017 election. You remember that?
And who's that one person?
Dr. Dwayne Sands.
Oh, okay.
And so, just as Minnis ended the Ingram era, Sands is ending the Minnis era.
Okay.
And now...
So now Sands tell Michael...
He's the chairman of the body. The chairman is the executive officer of the body.
So you got to ask him.
Yeah, he said this.
But the
boy,
council has a decision as well. The council is involved as well.
Did you watch the rally last night? You all the clapping in the room when they say Minnis gone? I said, boy, these some serious people. You know, Minnis probably thought these people did like him, you know.
Well, that's probably another side of
And they clap one bunch of hands. The fellas said, we have invited Hubert Minnis or we have advised him that he will not be nominated in the next election, but we have invited him to take the role of a statesman. What? We've invited him to lend us the kind of information that only prime ministers would have.
That's what former prime ministers do.
Not the ones with political ambition, spiritual advisor.
Well, this time is gone.
How? How? Him and the present prime minister the same age. How is his time gone? He had one time as prime minister, so has the present prime minister.
So
how is his time
So
gone?
let me ask a question, Dr. Minnis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think the majority of his popularity really stand? Is it in the constituency of Kalani or otherwise?
I suspect that when Dr. Minnis moves to this country, there is a facet of people that still flock towards him.
You really think so?
I do. He received triple-digit numbers in the leadership race. All those people ain't come out of Kalani. There are still people in this country that whisper in his ears every day how great and how wonderful and how mighty and how intelligent he is. I think they pathological liars, but that don't mean they don't say it. And remember, you could allege anything. But there are people
Well,
that say that to him.
Apparently, the Free National Movement has decided, for the greater good of the party, that they wasn't going to move forward with him.
And I say, Dr. Minnis, resign the seat.
It is what it is.
Resign the seat. If Michael's so big, resign the seat, Minnis. What does Michael Pintard have? What is his collateral in
don't
Kalani?
resign. Just serve,
Why not?
service people, man. You know.
Man, see, now y'all is talk tongue in cheek now. Because last week we just said that Hiram should resign the seat.
Well, you know what?
He wanted us an FNM, and if he wants to go be a COI, he should resign the seat.
Well, listen. Okay, so there are some constituents who has said that if they don't renominate Dr. Minnis, that they won't vote. So okay, so if he resigns the seat, let's see what happens.
He resigns the seat. He calls Lincoln Bain. He tell Lincoln, boy, you ain't gonna ever make it to Parliament unless you get some star power. Pick me up as a former Prime Minister. That naturally makes sense. Boom, Minnis goes into an election. The question becomes, who will the Free National Movement run?
You me get the answer?
You can call the prophet and say,
I can text. No.
Okay.
That's the last person I'll call.
who will the DNA run? That's my exact point. The PLP probably could run the last fella they run the last time. But he busy because he doing all kinds of things now, right? So he may not even run. And let's not forget that in politics it ain't uncommon that political parties could negotiate deals, and so Minnis could broker a deal with the PLP. The PLP has no need to get in that fight. You agree?
Absolutely.
If Minnis resigns Kalani, the if I was brave, I wouldn't wait. See, what you do as Minnis is you make Michael spend the money. Can he get money? An election costs $1 million. Where will Michael get $1 million from? He's still trying to pay the $1 million back from West End. So where will he get the $1 million from? And when he doesn't have the $1 million, guess who have it? Hubert Alexander Minnis. We know because he made $2 million in COVID, according to his declarations.
Yes.
And so Minnis could spend $1 million, contest the seat as a COI, all the crazy COI people could come out, because this their one chance to actually win an election. As a matter of fact, if they stretch it out long enough, a couple of them might move to Kalani just to vote for Minnis. Live by the gal and all kinds of crazy things, right? Just to vote for Minnis. If you stretch it out long enough. And so all I'm saying to you is, Minnis has a power play, and that power play will sink Michael Pintard's leadership. Because the only counter move to that would be to ask Adrian to resign while he's still in FNM. And he may not. He might join Minnis and become a COI. And that further pushes Michael Pintard down the little rabbit hole. So this is nothing to celebrate. Cutting Minnis's leg off this early is nothing to celebrate. Brave ain't calling the election, tell me, man. Y'all could have played around with Minnis till at least October. What was the purpose of doing it this early? What was the purpose of asking Minnis to go now? There's no real sanity in that. And if you listen to do we have the clip from Fred Mitchell? If you listen to the chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party,
have people who are vying for various seats. There are people who are working around now trying to get their feet on the ground. Two of our members have indicated that they won't be offering again. So in one area in particular, you have people who are moving around quite actively. Another seat that we're targeting, of course, is the seat of the leader of the opposition, and there's someone in there working on that as well from the PLP side. So we're doing our work, but it isn't necessary to be blowing our horn at this point. It's what is necessary is we've gone through every constituency, every member of parliament's been assessed. The course or the module has been done. There's another one which will be coming up shortly.
And that's what I'm saying to you. So Fred Mitchell sounds to me like what he's doing there is pontificating, right? Oh, we got some people on the ground. People are waiting on some seats. One of the seats we targeted is Marco City. I don't know why they already had Marco City. I just figure out who the people wanted other than Greg Moss and run that place in, right? You didn't not have that seat just too long ago. Just go back and do the things that you did then. And, we have two of our people that have said they're not going to run. I don't know which two. I know I know Basil McIntosh say he ain't running no more. Yay. And who else ain't running in the Progressive Liberal Party? I can't think about who else say they ain't running. Was it Vaughan Miller?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No?
I don't know.
I don't know. And so, I don't know. But the point I'm making to you is, you could hear Fred Mitchell ain't ready for war yet. That machine ain't cranking up tell about. He said we doing the assessments of the candidates or the sitting members of parliament and how they perform. I understand that there's some independent body that has conducted studies thus far about the performance of
candidates
or sitting members.
Okay.
I can confirm that has happened. Right? The Boundaries Commission hasn't reported yet, have they?
No.
Precisely. So who knows? We might end up with 9 new seats.
Yeah. No doubt they'll be splitting some boundaries.
So what was the rush to ask Minnis? That's the only question I have. And this is how you know that the leader of the Free National Movement, the English language calls it, is a mercurial man who allows his emotions to overtake him sometimes, and he doesn't calculate all the moves. But we'll see how it turns out. I say when the parliament meets at the end of the month, Minnis should resign the seat and make Michael prove that he could win. We'll be back after the Hello, and thank you for staying with us through the break. Leland Miller here, 103.5 The Beat. I'm joined in studio by the spiritual advisor who has been looking after my soul's salvation for these last couple of days, and he's trying his best to keep me safe on the breaks. I don't know how that's working out. Maybe he could report to you his findings afterward. But we got some birthdays, spiritual advisor.
Oh, I just got one particular birthday.
All right, well, let's go to the birthdays, and then we'll finish with some of this other stuff.
Yeah. The same as if Kalani, you better get ready for Michael Bonnet Ellis, eh? Anyhow, birthdays. Let's see, who do we have today? Enid Francis. Happy birthday to Enid Francis. Better known as Super Blessed in Freeport. So that's the only birthday shout out. Happy birthday to Ina Francis.
All right, happy birthday, Ina Francis. What did they call her? Super Blessed?
They call her, let's see, where am I here? Where are you, Mr. Producer? I lost you on my phone. I'm sorry, I don't know where I put it now. Oh, here we go. Ina, better known as Super Blessed in Freeport. Yeah.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you. All the best. We hope you live to enjoy many, many more. Special shout out to my good friends down at the paint place, Monique, Paul, it looks like Damien, C. Darling, Kiki, Kevin, Ms. Johnson, who's the manager, and also Kelly Moxie, the assistant manager. You guys served me well today. I appreciate your professional help. I hope you're having a good day, and of course, I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you much, producer.
All right, so Mr. Producer, put up the 2021 candidates from the last election. Let's go through this, because someone on the break just called me and asked me, why would Pintard risk it and contest Kalani, right? So the parliament is adjourned right now until the end of April, I'm advised. You have 30 days, or I think 60 days, which is what you would need for a by-election. So you're talking about May, June, right? Now imagine May, June, you go to election in August, let's just say August 2nd. That'll be a good day. I think I could be free that day, right? You do not run Minnis and Kalani as the pre-national movement, but Minnis runs as a COI. Put up the one with the COI for me, please. Let's see who ran in Kalani there the last time. I can't even see it. Just tell me who ran. Did the COI even contest Kalani the last time? Even with my glasses on, that's difficult to see. I don't see Kalani there either. What is it? Richard Sands? Rika Sands. Okay, so Rika Sands ran in Kalani the last time. We swapped Rika Sands out for Dr. Hubert Minnis on the COI ticket. Take me back to the PLP and the FNM side by side. So you have Ronnie Duncombe, who will probably recontend for the Progressive Liberal Party. You have Hubert Minnis running as a COI, possibly with the leadership conversation being had. My question is, look at the Free National Movement's candidate slates. Who up here will they run, Travis? Who will they run? And I can't listen to you with Michael Barnett. Let me tell you why. Because if they knew it was going to be Michael Barnett, they could have just said that yesterday and not talk foolishness about they want Minnis to recommend somebody. You agree? Because I don't think Minnis was going to recommend Michael Barnett.
They want her in the House, okay?
I hear you. And I'm saying to you, if they know it was going to be Michael Barnett, is she not in the Senate presently?
Yes, she is.
So what you mean you want Minnis recommend someone if you already have a sitting senator that you have in your mind?
She may be the one in Kalani, though.
Who would they be able to run in the next? You didn't that's who they'd run against, Minnis?
More than likely.
And risk losing that candidate? Because if she loses against Minnis in 2026, people could say, well, why y'all run this girl again and she just get beat? And you know, Bahamian don't like Bahamian woman who just get beat and come back. So people could say, well, this girl don't know when she had enough of it. We would need to run a candidate that had enough money to compete with Minnis. We would need to run a candidate that had the same amount of notoriety to compete with Minnis. We would need to run somebody that had the same level of influence to compete with Minnis down there in Kalani, because you're talking about the who's, correct? The only candidate you'd be able to send down there would be Dionisio Diagala or Dr. Dwayne Sands.
Oh, they won't do that.
If Minnis resigns that seat, he has just spun the entire free national movement into a tailspin. Because it can't be none of the newbies. They won't beat him. Michaela Barnett would not beat him. I don't care. She wouldn't beat him down there. So this whole flippancy they continue to go on with about, let Minnis, just let Minnis run as an independent so we could beat him. You all know better than that. If he runs as just an independent, maybe. But if he runs as a member of this bunch of people who, if Lincoln says jump, they jump. If Lincoln says sit, they sit. If Lincoln say come, they come. And if Lincoln say go, they go.
He'll win.
He might. Them people have the same thing staunch PLPs have. When they walk in the box, they ain't looking for no name. They ain't looking for no nothing. All they looking is for the sunboy splash. And wherever they see that, one of my friends tell me, say, when he go onto the poll to vote, he tell himself he's voting for the FNM. He say he stand inside the box and all he do is close his eye and open it. And when he look, the pencil vote for the PLP. He look at the pencil and try to figure out what kind of pencil this was. Because in his heart, he going to go vote for the FNM. But that never happens, spiritual advisor. So I don't want them to pretend like they doing so fantastically well if ministers... See, if all ministers is resign the party, that don't hurt Pintard. Resign the seat, Minnis. Resign the seat and make Pintard prove he can, because he ain't proved that to no one yet. Simple as that. All right? And it might trigger some other by-elections. Put it back up. Let's see what else might come out of this. Right? So, Minnis resigns Kalani. Boom. If they don't contest it against him, the Free National Movement loses a seat. The only other move after that spiritual advisor would be they would have to make Adrian take the knee in Long Island. So Adrian takes the knee in Long Island, bam, who did they run there? Or they may be able to run Henfield in Kalani. Because, you know, for special reasons. Right? That might work. But anything outside of Minnis resigning the seat in Kalani, spiritual advisor, if you ask me, is letting Pintard get off easy. And if you all say he ain't a team player and you all say all these manner of evil about him and he ain't being statemently and all these other things and you all want him to, what do you want him to do? Pick a candidate that is a suitable candidate for Kalani? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard, right? So, if what you all allege about Dr. Minnis is true, then I say Dr. Minnis throw the baby outside with the bad water. They ain't have no answer for you. They don't have no answer for you, Dr. Minnis. And if you run as a see, you see I got on my see I wearing my COI color today, spiritual. I don't look like a COI.
Yeah, but you ain't no COI though.
I said if I look like a COI.
No.
What do you mean no?
You look like a PLP. You can see it all over you.
What?
Yeah, man. You
No, you will not say that about me.
You're a PLP, man.
No,
Come
sir.
on, man.
No, sir.
I mean, it's always look at the way you talk.
No, I am an FNA. I told you that already.
PLP. You got all the trappings of a PLP.
The problem I have with the PLP is they like to go all the way, and I only like to go half of the way sometimes.
You got all the trappings.
I could be PLP, you know, until they say all the way, and that's why I have to get off. Because what you mean all the way? How far are we going? Why the PLP have to go all the way every time? I don't want to go all the way.
That's the only way you're gonna get.
No, I want to go like some of the way, a little bit, like half the way. That's why I can't be a PLP. But, spiritual advisor, hear me out. There are some seats that we should just not play with, right? And as Pintard goes towards the general election, he can't play with Kalani. He can't risk. Like if he loses these, he loses whatever it is he has as the leader. If he loses Long Island, that's not going to be good for him. But if I were him, I would make Brave contest Long Island. Make Brave contest that. Because I'm willing to bet Brave would bow out of a race in Long Island. Because who Brave go run? Show me the PLP thing. Let me see who Brave run down there the last time. I think he run the Tyrone, where is he? What is his name? Tyrone Young? No. In Long Island. Tyrell Young. I don't think he coming back. Right? So, who would the PLP run in Long Island? Right? As I look at this slate of candidates here, the Prime Minister could almost run this entire slate right now and still pull off about 23 comfortable seats, spiritual advisor. You disagree?
I'm looking at it now, too.
The two on the top, put it back. The two on the top are short seats, right? Philip Davis will hold on to Kid Island, and it makes no sense for them to even think about trying to replace Chester Cooper. That don't make sense. No matter what happens, you have to make sure Chester stays right where he is on the ticket. Running it without that would make no sense. Don't listen to anything else they tell you. Don't put Glennis there. Don't try to put Alfred there. Don't try to put Philip Davis and Chester Cooper. The top of that ticket looks like the road towards the future, right? Let's start from the bottom to the top. Bazi Runks say he out of here, so we ain't worrying about him. Tyrell Young, if they snap a by-election in Long Island, they may not even run him then. So the Progressive Party will have no candidate there. Sylvanus Petty, I think we've seen the better of him, and I think this will be the last of him, right? That's three. Right off the bat, them three, I don't know. I think Clay is going to make a good candidate to come back. I think Leonardo Lightburn is going to make a good candidate to come back. Leon Lundy is going to make a good candidate to come back. I think Cornish's hand is cooked in North Abaco. Spurgeon?
Yeah, okay.
So that's 4 that I think they need to begin to consider. Now, I don't know what the little Canadian people tell you all, but let me tell you all what to consider. Cornish's hand will be cooked in North Abaco. If you all break up the seat and make it a three-seat island, maybe you all could push him to Central Abaco and see what he does down there, right? John Pinder II, I am ambivalent about him. I don't know how to feel about the seat. I'd have to go down there and see. So if y'all want to invite me, I'll come and let me see how it looks, right? God rest his soul, Obi is now replaced with, Jesus, what is the name of the cabinet minister down there? I'll get back to him. I think Ginger looks good in Pine Ridge. She might come back. This Hollingsworth fella, he's in the Senate, I think he is now. I don't know what they will do there. That is, which seat is that? West Grand Mama?
I can't see it from where I'm sitting.
Well, go tell me, spiritual advisor. And then you got Turner. He's not in the parliament, and neither is Mr. Russell. He's not in the parliament. So they've got to figure out what they're going to do with those seats. But one of them is Crazy seat, and one is Iram seat. Which one is Central Grand Bahama?
Wow.
Down at the bottom.
You're trying to win the election today.
No, I'm just trying to tell you the seats that they can't risk to jeopardize.
All right, Wade Watson is where?
No, let's go down to the bottom. Let's do the bottom ones from Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama and the family land. At the bottom, spiritual advisor.
To the far right?
To the bottom. The spiritual advisor can't even see with the glasses on.
Let's see. This is Basil McIntosh.
Yeah, he out of here. Who else?
Terrell Young.
I don't think they're running him again.
Sylvanus Petty.
Sylvanus Petty.
He ain't running.
Yeah, he said he'll sacrifice his political career. He don't have to worry about doing it. We can do it for him.
Okay, Clay Sweeten is a winner.
I think he's coming back.
Leonardo Lightburn.
Nabi is coming back. Lundy is coming back.
Lundy can get beat.
I don't agree with that.
Craig Cornish gone.
His hand is cooked inside North Abaco.
John Pinder is a winner.
Go ahead.
Ginger Moxie can get beat.
I don't agree with that either.
Hollingsworth.
What is that? Is that East Grand Mama?
Marco City.
Marco City is where the leader is.
He can get beat.
Okay.
So, yeah. James Turner is in East Grand. He can get beat.
East Grand Bahama right now is Kwesi Thompson's seat.
Yeah, he can get
There's
beat.
no guarantee about that.
Kirkland Russell.
Because Kwesi might be a COI.
Yeah, Kirk Russell can get beat.
Kirk Russell is West Grand Mama.
Kirk Russell is Central Grand Mama.
And that is now COI.
He can get beat.
Right.
Zane Lightburn is a winner.
Okay.
Dr. Michael Dowell.
I think that is a winner.
Dr. Michael Dowell is a winner.
Say it loud. Southern Shores look rough for the PLP.
Yeah, my good friend Comrade.
Southern Shores, and I understand that the Free National Movement is running Danny Penn down there. And who else you told me, spiritual advisor?
In Southern Shores, I think the Free National Movement.
Danny Penn, hands down.
Yeah,
they don't have a better candidate than that.
Penn.
They don't have a better candidate than that.
Miriam Emmanuel.
That don't count. Who else?
And Patricia Davis, I think.
Now, you told me Jamal Moss last week.
Yeah, Jamal
That
Moss.
also don't count.
Yeah.
So in Southern Shores, more than likely, Penn is going to run whoever they run against her in the run of their life. The PLP lost an opportunity to run her in North Abaco. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barker's
I ain't
Roll.
allowed to talk about South Beach. Let's go to the next seat.
Barker's Roll.
I ain't allowed to talk about South Beach. Let's go to the
That's
next
your
seat.
MP. That's your MP.
He is my
Can
wonderful
Barkers
MP.
win? Can Barkers win South Beach? I got a campaign for Barkers.
Barkers is wonderful. He's tall, and he has a mild temper. Now, can we talk about the next seat?
Let me tell all PLP this, okay? I have to support Barker's Roll in South Beach, even though I'm an FNM. I have to support Barker's Roll because Barker's Roll is married to my daddy's sister child.
Wow.
So I don't have no choice in the matter.
Wow.
So I have to help Barker's campaign.
Okay.
All right?
Good.
Now,
The PLP looks good.
Leslie Bryce.
I think the PLP looks good there. Michael Alpides Billing Clinic on the end of the corner. The PLP may look good there too.
St. Barnabas?
Especially if they cut. Especially if what I hear happens is going to happen.
They need to move Michael.
No.
Listen to me, man. Michael Alpides is my boy. I love this guy.
You want to send him back to
He's a
Golden
nice guy.
Knights?
Ah, that's the point.
So you're saying Vaughn Miller should go home?
That's the point.
And what y'all gonna do with Vaughn?
We ain't get to that yet.
Okay.
But Michael Alpides' sure seat
Yeah.
is in Golden Isles.
But Michael Alpides might
Because he can't be Shandon. It's been proven. He can't be
Michael
Shandon.
Alpides might benefit from the cut. I understand that they're going to bring back 3 good, strong PLP strongholds. Claridge is going to come back, I'm
Listen.
told. St. Barnabas and St. Cecilia is going to come back. They're going to bring back that old St. Cecilia cut, and that is where Michael Alpides will pick up the win.
And, you know, I'm compromised in Seabreeze too. Because Leslie Bryce is my wife's best friend.
So she look good in Seabreeze.
So in Seabreeze, I'm compromised too. Leslie Bryce and my wife are best friends.
St.
All
Anne's.
right? So, look here. Now, listen, man. Listen, Michael is my boy. Michael Alpides
Yeah.
is my boy. If they run Michael Alpides in Southern Shores, I'll vote for him.
But they ain't running him in Southern Shores. Don't
Right.
waste him against Stanley Penn.
So Michael got to go down to Golden Isles.
Golden
right?
Knights.
That's for
So
sure.
Vaughn Miller, spiritual advisors say, no nomination for
Now,
you.
Christopher Saunders.
We ain't worrying about that.
Yo.
Yeah.
I don't. Miles. I don't think Miles is gonna run in Pinewood no more.
Where's he going to run? Michael?
Well, the history shows that you can't win Pinewood twice, right?
I know. Well, I know Miles
listen,
came out of the gate smoking in Pinewood.
Barnum, Pinewood is a winner. Miles is a good man.
Okay.
Miles LaRuda, hands down, is a good man.
When I talk to people in Pinewood, they say he started off with a bang, but now he kind of fizzled.
That's right. He's a good man.
Okay.
Never mind all that.
Okay.
Never mind the noise. in the
Jamal
background.
built the beacon on the hill in Nassau Village.
Jamal Strong.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
It's no way he could lose. He just built the biggest building in the whole of Nassau Village.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
Yeah.
place too.
I used to call him Lil Fred Mitchell. He can't lose. Not down in the back there.
All right, Michael Bonvie is a winner.
Okay. It depends on who you ask.
Michael Bonvie is a winner.
There's an interesting dynamic
got
about
that.
Mikhail. Apparently, his constituents love him, but those who interact with him through the Beaches and Parks Authority may not tell you the same story.
Whoever the FNM run against Michael, they can lose.
Marvin
right.
James.
Lisa Raman is out of there.
No, sir. No, sir. I have deeply rooted interest in the Marathon constituency. Deep-seated, deep-rooted interest in the Marathon constituency. And I want to tell you that Lisa Raman is a top performer. I don't care what the Canadian company say.
You can say what you want, but the PLP is not treating this
I just
woman
told
right.
you what
They are not treating this woman right.
And the
right?
Progressive Party people may not be treating her right,
All right.
but I could tell you that member of parliament there is probably one of the most active members of parliament in the entire history of member of parliaments.
Ronald Duncan, he's out.
If Minnis runs COI, Ronnie Duncan might be in problem.
He's out. Okay.
If Minnis runs FNM, he might pull it off. You just say Vaughn Miller ain't got no nomination, so we ain't got to call his name. You say send Michael
We got to put
Alpides
a
back
question
there.
mark to Vaughn Miller.
You just say, no, spiritual advisor, we can't put a question back there. You just say send Michael Alpides there.
And that'll be a sure seat. That'll be a sure win.
Okay. So Vaughn getting back to broadcasting, we can make him the chairman. The chairman is ZNS.
Pierre Glover Roll is a winner.
No, automatic, hands down.
Mario Boleg might be a winner.
I think the jury is hung there.
That's why
I think it depends on which day you call the election.
That's why I say might.
Yeah, which depends on which day you call the election.
Fred is an incumbent. Fred is a winner.
Okay.
Fort Charlotte could get beat.
From who? Travis?
Yeah, the FNM could win that seat.
Who the PLP even can run?
No, Alfred Sayers is in there now, right?
Allegedly.
Freetown.
What are we doing with the cut?
Freetown.
We cutting Freetown back towards Camp Road, or we cutting it back more towards
Montague?
Montague? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a big determining factor. Will you keep Wayne down in the back there?
Wayne Monroe is Wayne Monroe is my boy.
I like Wayne as well.
Yeah, I like him. But look like some people coming up against him in Freetown.
Okay.
All right? So we got to put a question to Freetown.
You're going to put a question mark to Wayne?
Yeah. In all honesty, and this just, listen, Minister.
Does the line have anything to do with it?
Minister, you know he's my boy, right? But it's just politics, okay? Mm-hmm. It's just politics. We're going to put a question mark in Freetown. Mm-hmm. Glennis Hannah Martin is a winner.
Joe Colby Davis.
We have to put a question in there.
You putting a question mark to that?
Yeah.
I understand she's the top performer.
Yeah.
You question marking it still?
We may have to, yeah.
Elizabeth has been a long-standing PLP stronghold. You putting a question mark still?
Yeah.
Okay. Centerville.
Jomo's doing a good job in Centerville.
I want them to cut him back to the Farm Road cut, though. I think that Centerville cut is too big for him. That got to be two-man seat. There's no way one man should campaign that.
Carmichael, we got to put a question to that.
See, spiritual advisor, it's a strong drink, it's raging, and wine is a mocker. Whatever that is you take, don't take no more. You telling me you believe that Gretel is going to beat Keith Bell and Carmichael Road? You believe that?
See, I need to tell you what I'm hearing on the ground now.
Okay? What we know is the person on the ground campaigning.
Listen, this is politics, please. These candidates, y'all don't take this personal. This is just politics based on what I've been hearing. I could be wrong, but this is what I'm hearing. So we can put a question mark in Carmichael.
I want to disagree with that.
This can be a tough call in Bamboo Town.
What tough about it? I have not heard a single person that said they are returning the incumbent. Not one person.
Question mark and being.
I also have very deep-rooted interest inside the Bamboo Town community. Very deep-rooted interest in Bamboo Town. And I understand that that candidate isn't coming back. Not for a win.
Wade Watson.
I would have to call the Prince of Hospital Lane to advise me on Wade Watson and his standing. So, Prince of Hospital Lane, if you are listening to me, please send me the coded message about how Wade Watson looks. Because if the Prince of Hospital Lane says that Wade is staying, I trust he will stay. But if the Prince tells me Wade must go, then spiritual advisor, I don't know. But that is the only person I'm prepared to take counsel from in that regard. Because it was the Prince of Hospital Lane that predicted to me a year outside of the election, despite my greatest observations, that Travis was gone. And so said, so done. So to the Prince of Hospital Lane, I wait and send me the coded message to let me know if Wade Watson has what it takes to hold on.
Chester Cooper is a winner.
Automatic.
I like what he's done down in Exuma.
Automatic.
The Prime Minister.
And successor to the Prime Minister. And I think PLPs have got to start saying that. Chester Cooper is going to be the next Member of Parliament for Exuma and uncontested successor to Philip Davis. Spiritual advisor. I want you to repeat it after me so that we could build faith. What does the Bible say about faith?
Without works is dead.
Not that one. Let's go to the next scripture about faith.
Without faith is impossible. Please go on, my brother.
Let's go to the next one about faith. Faith cometh by hearing.
And hearing by the word of God.
So
Romans 10:17.
And so we must speak it into their ear again, right? That I, Chester Cooper, should be the next uncontested leader of the Progressive Liberal Party. Because that only makes sense. Why would we go in another there? Who would they pick?
Brave Davis is going to run.
He is running.
Yeah, so.
We must also factor in that he's 70 odd. So at 70 odd, we must begin to at least consider his successor. And I understand in some circles that there are some PLPs that don't think it should be Chester, and I think whatever they just drink, they should take it off the market.
Actually, there's some PLPs that's pushing Glennis for...
To do what?
Deputy.
Why?
I don't know.
That doesn't make natural sense.
But they're pushing her.
That doesn't make natural sense, spiritual advisor. Glennis Hannah Martin is a woman of the people. She is a grassroots. She should stay with the grassroots and represent the grassroots where she has built an affinity. Chester Cooper, in my view, is somebody that has the kind of foresight to take the Bahamas into the great beyond. And as such, he should be the uncontested leader. But we'll talk about it on the next side of the break. Leaving Millis here on 103.5 The Beat. The spiritual advisor is going to try to keep me safe, and we'll be right back after these breaks. Thank you for staying with us through the break. Leland Miller, 103.5 The Beat, ILTV Studios on Facebook. We're on channel 224 on cable, on 1112, 112, can be 1112 even, 112 on Flow. I'm joined in the studio with the spiritual advisor who, I don't know, I'm starting to feel like the one that needs to keep the spiritual advisor safe now. But let's go to these ads.
Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best at Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, and Nurture at the lowest prices in town. And if you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for limited time, you buy any large bag of dog food and you get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. And if you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality, your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last. All right, thanks, producer.
And we have Tanya on the line.
Good afternoon, spiritual advisor, and good afternoon, Mr. Miller. It's your girl, Tanya, coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and for everyday living. And yes, Easter is next week. I am telling you, Holy Week starts next week, Bahamas. You should know by now that Shop Smart has got 25% off everything Easter. You need to start hopping into Shop Smart. We are open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. Come on in and let's take advantage of the 25% off. You can get all of your Easter items from the Easter decor all the way to the Easter bunny, to all of the toys, the light up peeps, all of the teddy bear, the eggs filled with candy, filled with stickers, filled with tachos. Whatever type egg you're looking for, if you're looking for Peter Rabbit and Friends, we've got you covered. You're looking for the candy dish with the Easter bunny on it, we've got you covered. Maybe you're looking for Easter wreaths or garlands. Shop Smart is your place to come. Yes, we've got the Easter throw pillows as well and all of the Easter signs and decor. But not only do we have 25% off everything Easter, yes, we have got 20% off store-wide. So the smart shoppers are in here and they are setting their kitchen tables with everything 20% off. They can come in and get their dishes. They can get all of the dish set, the pot set. They're getting those knives, those forks. They're getting the chargers, those cups and mugs. They are really going all out this holiday season because, listen, if you're getting 20% off, and that includes the blinds, all of the clothes humpers and garbage bins, the ironing board and the irons, come on into Shop Smart. We want to make you a smart shopper. Remember, we are here for you Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. But if you can't come in the store, give us a call. Our numbers are 698-1051 or 698-1052. Or you can send us a message on our WhatsApp line. That messaging number, 813-4397. That is 813-4397. Somebody is always standing by just to assist you. And if you want to take a look, just visit us on our website at shopsmart242.com and take a look at all of the Easter goodies that we have to offer. Or you can go to any of our social media platforms. That is ShopSmart242. We're on Facebook, ShopSmart242 on Instagram, and ShopSmart242 on TikTok. Spiritual advisor, Mr. Miller, you continue to have a beautiful day, and remember to always shop early, shop often, and to shop smart.
Oh, well, there you have it, spiritual advisor. All of the Easter gifts and trinkets and Easter eggs and Easter baskets, Easter bunnies. They still have them in stock, spiritual advisor. You got to get down there to Shop Smart.
Yep. It does seem they offer some good prices. So
Indeed, 20% off. Sounds pretty decent. It's almost time to open the phone line. So let's recap the show, right? So the chaplain of the Defense Force is doing a marvelous job. Congratulations to Chief Apostle Raymond Wells, who is the chaplain of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. I mean, beautiful marching yesterday.
Chief Apostle.
Chief Apostle, right? I also want to say that for whatever it is worth, I want to congratulate the commander of the Defense Force for growing the force's numbers. I heard yesterday that they were 1,875 strong. I remember for the longest while we couldn't get the number over to 1,800, right? And even with attrition challenges, I see that they have somehow managed to get the numbers up. Who knows? Maybe he'll make it to the 2,100 and become the first Bahamian admiral, eh? So congratulations to him. And fun fact, the Haitians, despite the mass exoduses from Haiti, have not been able to land a single solitary Haitian landing on a piece of Bahamian land worth anything since his commodoreship. And I know that if you ask him, he will say that it is about maritime domain awareness, maritime domain dominance, and what is the other one? Maritime domain control. And that has been his mandate ever since he came to office as a CDF. And so congratulations, because that seems to be working. They can't get Haitian seaweed to land on a beach nowhere around here. I saw the minister again yesterday, quite resplendent. Points to note, noticeably missing from the FNM's beheading of Dr. Minnis was the chaplain of the Free National Movement and senator of the Free National Movement, who happens to also be a lieutenant commander retired from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. So what a wonderful coincidence that he could go to that service and have the best alibi ever for not being there while he was off in his birthday twin. You know, such a wonderful, happy coincidence. Hey, Spurgeon?
Indeed.
So we opening the phone lines now. Let's put up the number for Rodney one more time for those who want it. Rodney Monka, I'm advised, the senator is at home convalescing.
Yes, he has been released.
He's in good spirits. Mm-hmm. He is in high hopes. And he says to advise you all that his return is imminent. He will be back in the shortest possible course, and so he wants you all, Freedom Marchers, to hold the line, to continue to tolerate me until he gets back. But as of this afternoon, he was in good health.
Yeah, I spoke with him. Yeah, he's doing pretty well. He's resting comfortably at his home. Mm-hmm. Of course, he sends his love to everyone, all those who has been supporting him.
Indeed.
By calling him and wishing him well, those who offered prayers, and those who, of course, would have visited him in hospital. He
Indeed.
sends, of course, his much thanks to all of you. And for those of you who will continue to call, and want to know how they can assist them, then this Commonwealth Bank account number at the Oakfield branch would assist you. The number is 700-300-5072, Commonwealth Bank, Oakfield. The transit number is 21103. So
yes.
Again, that number for Rodney to help fund the over expenses, what do you call it again now? Cost overrun, whatever
yes.
it is. At the Princess Margaret Private Ward, the account number is 700-300-5072. That's Commonwealth Bank, Oakfield branch. And of course, the transit number is 21103.
Okay.
Again, Rodney Monk, I spoke with him today. He's doing well. He's in good spirits. He's at home with his family. He's resting. Of course, he has some more time to recuperate and to get back to some, state of normalcy.
Good stuff.
All right.
All
So
right.
the numbers to call, the lines are now open. The numbers are 323-7775, 698-0775, and of course 698-0776. And we're sorry for having those calls waiting. Welcome to Freedom March Call Your Life.
Hey, good afternoon, Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I decided to call because when I heard Spiritual Advisor say that Miles LaRota is a good man, I live in Pinewood. Mm-hmm. And Miles LaRota is one of the worst MPs we've had. And I've been voting from since Allison was my gal.
Okay.
I miss Byron Woodside. I miss Kayla's Rule. Ruben Raman and Miles LaRota, they are the worst.
Wow.
What part of Pinewood you live?
I'm on Tapatilla.
And what's your issue?
I mean, between the roads being, you would think his name is Miles LaRota, that the roads would be fixed. You would think that the flooding issue in Pinewood would subside. I mean, I have to drive through, let's say, let's say I driving through Nassau Village. Nassau Village, the road's smooth. Even when it rained, the water don't settle like that no more. I mean, to me, we just see him coming around here lately. This is the first time I've ever met him through my way. You know, they just barely fix up the
park?
What is it? The park.
Okay. I see they just paved the two of the courts there.
Pardon me?
They just paved the two of the courts there and fixed the bleachers, eh?
Yeah, they just fixed them. I mean, after what, 4, almost 5 years, you know, the only way I could see that he would, or that the PLP would win the Pinewood Gardens is if they break it up and stretch it to Seabreeze and stretch it to Nassau Village. I think they are better MPs.
So
you know,
so let's start with you first now. What could we do as far as getting the message to Mr. LaRota, the minister?
I'm sure he listens to your show, and I'm sure that a lot of his people listen to your show and would understand that, hey, we live in Pinewood. We want to see a better Pinewood, a cleaner Pinewood. You know, we want to see more things to help young people and help people overall in need. Right now in our country, you know, a lot of people are committing suicide. A lot of people are down and out. And they're down and out because they don't have no hope. They don't have no vision. Leading, at least, I wouldn't say leading the country, but they don't have no vision in each constituency. We supposed to have many leaders, not just one leader. We have leaders in each community. And you only see certain communities doing better than other communities. And, you know, everybody's trying to scrap together and do something now for their community just to get a vote. And that's not right.
Okay, so you're on Sapodilla Boulevard.
Yeah, I'm on Sapodilla Boulevard, and we got 6 or 7 voters right here.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
I would not vote. I wouldn't waste a vote.
All right, so before you hang up, what if I could get the minister to come and visit you? How would that work?
I don't need him to. My
So
mind is
so
made
your
up.
mind is made up.
My mind is made up, and I won't turn back.
Wow. So are you going to consider the COI?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
You know, I
What about the FNA?
I haven't seen the COI either.
What about the FNA?
The
Would you consider the
FNM?
FNA?
FNA? That's a new party.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on who comes with the right plan and actually not only have a plan, but have action towards it.
Okay.
We need to see real change in our country. We need to get people minds right. And the only way we can get people minds right is if we have true leadership that is going to take us to the next level.
Wow. Okay.
I'll make sure the minister gets your message, okay?
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Give them the numbers again, Spiritual.
Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Hello,
Go ahead,
Hi.
caller.
Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Spiritual Advisor Cowboy.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How you doing, Mr. Miller?
Hi.
Spiritual Advisor, I live in Pinewood.
Okay.
And Mars was the first one was on the ground.
Wow.
Okay.
Where
First
do you
minister
live?
on the ground.
Do you live Sapodilla Boulevard as well?
No, I live Cottonwood Street,
Okay.
Portland Division number 8.
Okay.
And he was the first minister on the ground.
Yeah, because I said he is a good man.
Yes, first. So some people have, I can't, people have their own.
Yeah, she seemed to have some very deep-rooted issues.
Yeah, so-
And I don't
so-
think she...
I don't know if we could say that.
I don't
about
think
her.
she's being
you can't
fair
really
with the
know that.
minister.
I don't know if we could say that about the woman spiritual advisor. She has given you her assessment from where she sits.
But she's
but-
something else going on with her.
Yeah, I think so too.
That is a very strong allegation. I don't know if I want to adopt that allegation.
No, Mr. Miller,
Yeah.
Marshall was the first MP that's on the ground, and he'll be on the ground. He's on the ground every day, and he's been in office every day. Some people just looking out for handout. You can't give everybody handout. You see what they said?
Okay.
You got to go there and get your handout. Get up off your behind and go do something.
All right.
Huh?
Thank you, Cowboy.
Yeah.
We appreciate your
And
contribution.
Mr. Rodney, he's all right.
Yeah, man, Rodney's doing well. He is home resting, and he's recuperating, okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank you,
Joel.
cowboy.
Y'all be blessed.
Yeah, man, you take care. 323-7775, 6980-775, 6980-776. Welcome to Freedom March, call you live.
This is Spiritual Advisor and Lewan Miller.
Yes,
Hi.
ma'am.
This is one of Rodney listeners from West End calling to check on him to see how he's doing.
He's doing well, ma'am. He's been released from the hospital and he's home resting.
Okay, thank you kindly. Let him know one listeners from West End call to check on him.
Yes, ma'am. We appreciate you. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March. You live,
Hi,
caller.
good afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Turn your
Yeah,
radio down, caller.
I know,
This
with the
happened,
lady
call him back. Is it?
who was speaking on the Miles Zeroda
Oh, okay.
case.
Uh-huh.
I didn't like all of that passion or whatever because with me, I was a member of the PLP from a child before I could even vote, and Alison Maynard, Kaylis Rose, and Miles Zeroda, all of them is good MPs. Now, some people just want to sit nails on their hip all day, and they just want people just to walk up to them and come to them with jewels and dimes in their hand, and that's it. And she sounds like she is one of them F&M people who probably say, oh, let me give him a chance. I never had bad intentions or whatever. They say, oh, yeah, one slip up, then I can wait and say, oh, let me go and, try bashing. Because to me, she sounds like a natural F&M from birth. And for me, and where I live in my household, because we vote PLP all the way again.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Miles Zeroda is a good MP.
I said
he
that.
Good to me.
Yeah.
I said
all
that.
the years he been here from Allison, the careless role, and I could big them up. Because she raised my pressure. She ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I said, but caller, I said.
Yeah, but I just here to say PLP all the way and
All the
Miles
way.
Zeroda.
Yeah, I did
If you want to
say.
be
but
sideways or whatever, yeah, everybody get their little side thing, but I could say he
All
can
the
be
way.
the MP for Pinewood again, running or not. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so
And
much.
Sugar Apple Street.
Okay, thank you, Sugar Apple Street.
But Spiritual Advisor,
I told you how the woman
But I
sounded
told
like
you,
she has
some
some
people
deep
told me, and I
issues.
want to say that Miles Zeroda fixed something immediately when coming to office. You know that is that Bamboo Boulevard, the one that runs past the police station into the park?
Yeah, and straight into the park.
Which
Yeah.
used to flood right in the front of his office.
Yeah.
I could tell you that ever
Yeah,
since
they
he
paved
took,
that.
and not pave it, they pave it and lift it. Barker's Road did the same thing in the surrounding CV Battle. CV Battle has not had the craters in the front of it,
Yeah.
nor
We
a
see that.
pool of water
Yeah, we see
since
that.
Barker's took
Yeah,
over.
we see that.
I'm not allowed to talk about Barker's or
yeah.
South Beach, but I want to tell you about Miles and Pinewood. Miles did something similar, and I can tell you that used to. I couldn't understand how Jeff Lloyd, Reuben Ramin, and Renwood Wells, who share that boundary, couldn't get that fixed. Miles did it in the first year. Now, I know some people said that he took off with a lot of speed, but he looked like he got very and well doing Spiritual Advisor.
No, I support the F&M, but I do have some very good friends in the Progressive Liberal Party who is working, so I can't take it away from them.
Okay.
All right? Welcome to Freedom March, call you live.
Hello, Spiritual Advisor.
You're live, caller. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Dave.
How you doing, sir? How you doing, Mr. Levan Miller?
Good.
Spiritual Advisor.
Hey.
Me, you could dialogue today in a good way. Spiritual Advisor. Election is won on the ground, door to door. No social media, no talk show. I mean, you all help, right? But guess what? Me and Leslie Miller, we on the ground every other day, right? Every other day. So, Spiritual Advisor, see some things you saying, you talking who you like and who you don't like. Now, Levan Miller, I respect your opinion, but Levan Miller, you have to go on the ground. Hey, Levan?
Okay.
You have to go on the ground.
Okay.
All right, Levan?
Okay.
But
All right.
Spiritual Advisor.
Thank you, Dave.
No, I'm for Spiritual Advisor. Spiritual.
Dave, hurry up, man.
So, hold on. Let people first, man. Come on.
Which ground would you like me to
Okay,
go on
go ahead.
there?
What you want to say, Dave? Hurry up.
Let's be careful, Spiritual Advisor. Back to Michael Pentat and Dwayne Sands. Dwayne Sands will go down. Let's be careful. Gilbert Kobe Davis will beat Dwayne Sands. Hey, 3-1. 3-1.
That ain't
I
happening.
guarantee
We
that.
running them in Long Island. Y'all think we fooling. We running them
No.
in Long Island. We saving that
Hey.
seat for him.
Let's be careful. Number 2, Dwayne Sands. Believe it or not, Dwayne Sands is a dark horse to go into land. You get there's no way. Dwayne Sands and Michael Pentat never win nothing. Never win nothing without you minutes. Because they ran with Ingham twice or 2 and Lewis. Pentat went in Grandmama. Minnis put him there and you win. Okay, so let's be careful right now. The beating what Dwayne Sands getting Lizzie. It's coming. And guess what, Spiritual Advisor? The PLP will retain 34 to 36,
Right.
32 to 34.
I don't think it's going to
So,
be, I don't think it's gonna be that much.
So
Go
Dave,
ahead.
here's what I understand about you. You're so convinced, as after you must have had a mountaintop experience, that the PLP is going to win. Why are you so worried about F&M?
No.
Why are you worried? What you worried about F&M for?
Hold on. The F&M will not get away with talk show hosts like you and Dwight Stone and I can't for them.
I figured
Gotta
that.
walk to win.
Okay.
Gotta walk to win, okay?
Okay, you
All
have
right,
to
Dave.
take it yourself,
Thank you,
Dave.
Dave. Let's go to another call. Good afternoon, caller. Spiritually, you gotta go on the ground. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hi, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing well.
Great. I just wanted to comment on Miles' reputation, Miles' representation.
Sure.
Miles is a person who is straight up. He's not going to waste time and slam and tell you things that you may want to hear. He's a real representative. He's on it.
Sure.
Okay? I know people are saying that, like someone that he mentioned, something about the flooding or whatever have you. This thing went back all the way back
Yesteryear.
years. Miles was, and people, when you see Pinewood flooded, that used to stay like that for days.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Miles had trucks, the pump trucks,
Yeah.
just put every corner. You understand? Clearing up that water, bam, bam, bam. Ask people who Miles helped, assisted with getting medical assistance in reference to needing surgeries and whatever else have you.
Mm-hmm.
Doing this, getting a lot of the young persons jobs. Okay? Miles, like I said before, you call him, you pick up the phone, call him, he answers the phone.
Yeah.
So he
will
may
give that
not
to
be
them.
the showboat, or he's not the person to go out there fronting and slamming, and every time he sees a red dot with the camera, he jumps in front of that and just talk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? What people have to understand is this. You do not expect an MP to come to your door for the 5 years for what you cooking for breakfast, what's for lunch, what's for dinner. Sit up in your house. They have work to do.
Yeah.
You have to go when they call those meetings.
Yeah.
Go out to the meetings.
Yeah.
The constituency has for this milestone that was he renovated that.
And it's open.
Someone is always there.
Yeah.
You can't sit in your house and then call and talk, but there's no turning back.
You're making sense.
It's obvious where you are, who you are, where you stand for. So for every person who can call and say a negative thing about Miles LaRota, you have 5 can call who, if they want to speak up. And people need to start to speak up and say what he has done, what he is doing. For Pinewood, there is a plan for that park in the back where they had the baseball or softball field. That is going to be the new community center.
Okay.
Instead of that community center.
Okay.
Let me see if they don't know what's going on. Tell them, ask somebody.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys have a good day.
Thank you
I
so much,
appreciate it.
caller.
This Spiritual, I will say this. If it's one thing this group of fellas got right, was they just answered the phone. Now, I know if it's because they believe they know my phone number, but they just answered the phone.
Let's take this call. Welcome to Freedom March Call. You're live.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Great.
Okay, I'm calling about Mr. LaRota. Tell that caller, give the man the flowers while he can
Wow.
see it and smell it. Mr. LaRota is one of the best politicians I have come across when I was voting for me, too.
Wow.
He is a decent, respectable, honest, upright man.
Hallelujah.
He
Yeah.
can do something for you. He said, I can't.
Yeah, Miles is a good man. Yeah.
He's a good man. I
Yeah, yeah.
always say, Lord, I wish I was living in not Tall Miles, in
Pinewood.
in Pinewood. I would have wiped my fingers off to help the road.
Wow.
Decent, respectable,
Wow.
honest. Tell
Wow.
that caller stop it.
Wow.
Thank you so much, caller.
Okay.
All right, we're at 5:56.
I actually want to play the clip. Play the Dr. Minnis clip for the caller. Caller, you say these mean things about Miles LaRota. I have one question for you.
Are you humane? Where is your heart? Where is your compassion? Do you have a soul?
Well, because everybody else seems to just... You like that?
That's classic.
Everybody else says to be singing Mr.
That's classic,
Mr.
Dr. Minnis.
But I will say this. I heard one Virginia's Ignatius Cornelius Alfred Gray say that these members of Parliament weren't answering their phone. I also heard Leslie Miller say the same. But I think they must just tired talking to old dudes, because they just answer my phone call. I mean, not that I care, not that I just call, but I can't ever say that I had a concern and couldn't get through to one of them. And there are some of them, believe it or not, that as busy as they are, Wayne Monroe is one of these people. I don't care. Wayne Monroe, the thing that freaks me out about Wayne Monroe is he will call you back at 11:45 in the morning. And I think that that's fantastic. That's a jingle?
Yeah,
all right.
At the end of the show.
That's the end of the show again, Spiritual Advisor. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We've come to the end of the show. We appreciate you for staying with us. Leaving Millie here on Freedom March on 103.5 the Beat FM. Minnis, resign the seat and make Pentad win. That's my advice to you. And let's see. They don't have no answer for that, I promise you. We'll talk about more of this politics as it gets interesting further on in the week. I'm sitting in for Rodney Monk Radio on Freedom March.